This will be the completion of part 4 in the Attaining Spiritual Mastery series. This will be a little bit shorter than the last one, maybe by a little bit. But we are just going to jump straight into the precept number 12. Again, this is the completion of part 4. For the spiritual master wins his or her victories without erring. Whatever he or she does ensures his or her victory. He or she conquers the objects of his or her positive dreams and desires, even as they are already overcome and manifested into material life. In planning, the spiritual master never makes a useless move. In strategy, the spiritual master never takes a step in vain. Precept number 13. Therefore, one aspiring to spiritual mastery takes up a position in life in which he or she cannot be defeated and misses no opportunity to further their cause towards its fruition. Precept 14. Thus, a spiritual master wins his or her victories before seeking them out. One who fails is one who struggles in the hope of winning the objects of their positive dreams and desires and is no spiritual master. Recognize that your positive dreams and desires, when properly prioritized, are already manifest in your life. You just have not created the conditions in your life that can be plainly seen for yourself yet. By being the change you want to see in the world or in your very own life, you act as though the change is already manifest, even as you carry out the thoughts and actions to make it manifest. This requires a clear perception, inner harmony with all the involved elements of life necessary for victory, a profound strategy coupled with far-reaching plans, an understanding of how life changes and how it will change, and an ability to understand human beings in general. For a person unable to estimate his or her capabilities or comprehend the desire necessary for expediency and flexibility will advance toward the objects of their positive dreams and desires in a foolhardy manner, stumbling and hesitant, and thus is no spiritual master. In anxiousness does such an ordinary person look to half of their options, and then the other half, and still cannot produce a plan. Gullible, he or she will place confidence in unreliable notions of him or herself and of life, believing at one moment one thing and at another moment something else. Showing a timid nervousness, his or her efforts will be scattered about. What is the difference between this and putting oneself willingly into humiliating and torturous situations? Is this not like sending yourself off to be a slave to the machinations of others? Think on it, for if you do not, you are no spiritual master. Precept 15. Those who are spiritual masters cultivate an ever-shifting balance in themselves between a positive and negative, active and passive, changeability and stability, light and darkness, order and chaos. This is a reflection of the cosmic order that pervades the entire universe. In so doing, a spiritual master is able to formulate victorious courses of action which adhere to everything which is written about in this series of posts. For this is the true way of humanity and of justice. The limitations of what presently exist, all around you in every way, merely regulate how you may act, and institute the necessity for some courses of action above others. Those who are spiritual masters first cultivate their own humanity and sense of justice and maintain the existing limitations on their lives by acting in accordance with them, not through counteracting them. By these means, they make themselves invincible to failure. Precept 16. Now, the elements of the art of spiritual mastery are first measured as the freedom to act. Second, estimation of your resources and of opposing resources. Third, calculations. Fourth, comparisons. And fifth, the chances of success. Precept 17. Measurements of freedom are derived from peering into life and ascertaining what you may or may not do. For example, ask yourself these questions and answer them with careful thoughtfulness. What structures exist in your life? What institutions are you joined to? What routine does life demand of you? Precept 18. Your measurements of your freedoms helps you to determine just exactly what resources you really have available to expend. Your resources are those energies, spiritual, emotional, intellectual, physical, monetary, which you have available to expend. Opposing resources are those of that which stand in your way, and those whom appoint themselves over that which stands in your way. Your calculations are easy to figure out as they depend on allocating your expendable resources to your plan. Comparisons become plain to you once you have completed your calculations, for they make choosing a course of action or plan most obvious. Your chances of victory then become totally clear once you have worked your way through this 5-step process. Only after this process should you actually proceed to engage in action. Precept 19. Thus, a spiritual master who achieves victory has balanced the weight of their entire perception of the world and their life against something as light and insubstantial seeming as a positive dream or desire. Those who are not spiritual masters do the opposite by balancing their dreams or desires against the weight of their entire perception of the world and their life. Precept 20. It is because of the inherent qualities of mind and character of a spiritual master that the efforts they make and the energies they expend are released as waters from a floodgate, which spill outward and dissipate into the world, calling forth manifestation of positive dreams and desires. The force of a spiritual master is irresistible upon the passive nature of the world. Take advantage of the unpreparedness of others to resist your efforts. Avoid the strongly resistant aspects of the world as it presents itself to you, and seize upon victory when an open possibility becomes clearly manifest in your perceptions. That way, no one nor anything may oppose you. So that concludes the 4th part of attaining spiritual mastery. In part 5, we will explore the concept of energy, all that applies to controlling energy. And again, we will add the caution. This series involves a subjective interpretations of the steps we are detailing. If you don't pay careful attention, you may wind up with the wrong idea.